When my friend told me to watch Barbarian, he just told me to go into the movie completely blind, to not watch any trailers, any comments, any reviews, hell, not even a synopsis of the movie. Just go into it completely blind. And he told me that it was a horror movie. But I did not enjoy it in the slightest because I realized halfway into the movie that the movie simply couldn't happen. Let me explain. First of all, the entire movie wouldn't have happened if the characters had any common sense. I don't understand why, in the horror genre, asking for a tiny shred of common sense is too much to ask for. Any rational human being, after finding that hidden hallway in the basement, would immediately close the door, break the window or the door down, and get the fuck out. But no, Tess just had to go into the scary dark hallway. The hallway is obviously not meant to be found. So logically, you wouldn't find a way out from there. And whatever tools she needed to break the door or the window down would have been in the basement. So there is zero reason to go into the hallway. But whatever. Then, when Keith comes back and he sees Tess absolutely freaking out, losing it, crying and screaming, saying that they had to get the fuck out in that second, Keith goes to check out the fucking hallway. Like, why? Sure, Tess could have maybe given a better description of the room and what she found that was so horrifying, but nevertheless, she is obviously scared. She's losing it. She's crying, for fuck's sakes. When Keith saw Tess freaking out to that level, any rational human being would leave. Especially seeing the neighborhood in which the fucking house is in. Like, come on. At the bare minimum, anyone would say, okay, let's leave. And then after Tess calms down, ask what the fuck she saw. Okay? But no. Not only does Keith go down to check out the fucking hallway, for whatever god-forsaken fucking reason, Keith went down the fucking stairs. Like, why? And I can say with confidence that he wasn't taken not only because he didn't scream or make any noise or whatever, he wasn't injured in any visible way, and his clothes, his hair, his skin were not torn or dirty or messed up in any way. So that means they had to have voluntarily gone down the fucking stairs. But why? The first thing he would have seen was the light turned on from the fucked up room that Tess talked about. And then he would have said, oh shit, yeah, this is fucked, let's leave. But no, not only did he see this room, he somehow found the stairs that go down even deeper, and he decided to go down the stairs. Like, it doesn't make it just makes zero fucking sense. And then again, Tess decides to follow him down into the fucking stairs. Tess should have immediately just left and called the police because she didn't even arm herself with a knife or anything. So, what was she realistically going to do if she found someone or something in the hallway? She cannot help. I just don't, it doesn't make any sense. And even considering everything that I just talked about, there's more. Because when you think about it, the house could not have been in such a good state in the first place. The listing for the Airbnb or whatever site, like rental site, would not have allowed the listing to be up. Because when you see such a nice, beautiful house in such a fucked up neighborhood, that would be the prime target for squatters, for robbers, for people to take drugs in there, whatever. The house would be completely fucked up, especially considering that there is no security measures. There aren't any cameras. Hell, there aren't even any fucking fences to the fucking that are protecting the house. The only security is that incredibly shitty plastic lockbox to the key. That is the only security measure. So again, it would be a prime target for what I already mentioned. And then what would happen was that An Airbnb renter would go to the location, see the fucked up state that the house is in, and then would just leave. And in the movie itself, the real estate agent that is talking to the rich guy over the phone says that whenever someone rents the place, a maid comes over to clean up. So what would happen was that maid would go see the house in a fucked up state and then report it to the real estate agent. The real estate agent will then report it to the rich guy that owns the house. And then the rich guy would see that he is losing so much money in order to repair and maintain the house. So he would obviously either abandon it or sell it off. And even if you say, oh, the guy was a complete dumbass in the movie, yes, I agree, he was a complete dumbass. But even then, that he is the kind of person, rich Hollywood influencer asshole, that would still understand that losing money is bad. Hell, even then, he has a real estate agent and a fucking accountant managing his finances. And both of them would be calling him every single fucking day, telling him to get rid of the house. And this is all assuming that the Airbnb renter wouldn't report the house to whatever rental site or app that the person rented the house off. Because that person would most likely report it to Airbnb, for example, and then Airbnb, after seeing the condition in which the house is in, would immediately take off the fucking listing. So the house couldn't even be rented in the first place. The movie just simply could not happen.